I'm walking straight into a Tinder date 150 miles away for the girl of my dreams.
I somehow have to clean up and have a date in, 30 minutes? This is not good.
You're probably asking yourself, Jack, why are you doing this, you sad, sad, lonely man? Why would you torture yourself through a miserable journey for a girl you haven't met yet? Well, my answer to you is, I'm desperate. With this in mind, I spent a few days swiping around. Eventually, I got lucky and found a match. And after delivering the razzle-dazzle Jack Attack special using all my best lines,
What do I say to her, man?
Tell her she's pretty?
well, she left me on red. But we know the saying, love isn't easy, and I could not think of any better way to show her that I care than to walk 150 miles to her. And me being the absolute idiot that I am, I completely forgot a water, so we swung by a Smith's to pick one up.
First purchase of the 6-day trek.
And we were off.
We're about 2.5 miles in and we are already evolving. So we found this shopping cart. Apple is still pushing the cart. I don't understand it, but it's nice because he's carrying my water.
I've become emotionally attached to this cart.
We're about 10 miles in. Still's got the cart. We gotta name it. What do you think?
Sarah.
The cart's name is Sarah.
And just outside of Las Vegas, we hit our first real challenge.
There's no more sidewalk.
And we have Sarah.
And you may think this is where we ditch her.
I say we toss her for storage over in the ditch across the street.
So that's exactly what we did. And there it was, our final stretch of the day. We lost a friend, but gained perspective. The next 5 days will not be easy.
I'm starting to get very tired. Definitely just ready to sleep now and ready for my date in 6 days.
After another 2 miles of walking, we made it to the Nellis Dunes.
Setting up the tent was the only thing that we've done so far that was not as challenging as I thought it would be.
My foot looks pretty good.
Is that a blister or tape?
Oh, it's just tape. I didn't know either.
It was pretty challenging to sleep last night because we are right next to an Air Force base. There were a bunch of dune buggies
Oh, there's the dune buggy.
and cops that kept driving by us. There was just a lot going on last night.
And then we set off on the next day of walking.
It's extremely dangerous what we're doing. We just have a bunch of trucks going by.
By this time, my feet were already in excruciating pain, but I did my best to cope with it and keep a smile on my face because I knew I would have a date in St. George in a few days.
We've hunkered ourselves underneath some train tracks to stop for a lunch. And we're eating some bars and things are looking pretty good.
Oh, shit.
This is my water, like it's already half
Dude, I think
empty.
I'm getting sunburned.
Those boys are tender and red. It's kind of short in here.
Yeah. Hey, this isn't short.
There is a food truck, so things are looking up.
We met two very nice older folks. They said, oh, we can eat inside their RV with them.
After eating, I also used this opportunity outside of the wind and cold to stretch out my legs to help me not be sore for the next day.
So the lovely couple that let us eat our burritos in their trailer offered to let us sleep in there. That sounds so pleasant. Like last night was so hard, so I'll go ahead and hobble back over to their trailer.
I can't believe it. I genuinely cannot believe how kind these people are. Like we just met them.
It was also at this point that we realized, as per the title, that we only needed to walk 100 miles. And this trip was going to be 150. So we then made plans to hitchhike 50 miles the next day because walking an extra 50 for no reason sounded terrible. With this exciting new idea in mind, we went to bed.
So we went to bed last night right around 8 p.m. and we just woke up. It's about 6. If I had it my way, we'd sleep until noon.
So we took him out to breakfast and then said our goodbyes.
Thank you. Robert, Doris, Dottie, thank you guys so much. This has been amazing.
Thank you for your help.
Now we go our separate ways.
It was a bittersweet moment to watch them leave, and now we had to make it to St. George, not only for my date, but for Robert, Doris, and Dottie too. So we went to hitchhiking. We thought we would just say hello to people as they walked into the store to warm them up.
Hello. What's up, guys? Hey, warming them up for when they come out.
And then when they came out of the store, we would ask them for a ride. That was a terrible idea because we were soliciting, loitering, and breaking the law because guess what? Hitchhiking is illegal in 5 of the 50 states. And Nevada and Utah are 2 of them. And with our awful luck, we got arrested.
Hey, what's going?
Yeah, security called and they said we gotta leave, so.
Okay, no. But the cops did tell us to leave.
On the other side of the fence over there by the 15.
Okay. I don't think this is the safest thing to do.
For what reason?
Just because we're putting our livelihood and safety in someone else's control, basically, that we don't know who they are.
And we started off confident. We thought it could take maybe 30 minutes to an hour max.
You got plenty of
None of it, dude.
Give two guys like us a chance.
Yeah.
I have a literal date in just a couple days, and we were stuck hitchhiking for over 4 hours.
I just realized this is probably not very good.
What?
That we're so far behind. Hitchhiking is not successful.
No, not at all. But like, we don't really have any other option at this point, right?
I know, so what do we do? Do we just keep trying?
And that's exactly what we did. And then finally.
So this guy Derek picked us up and he agreed to drive us to Mesquite.
Yeah, we gave him $20 and he was like, yeah, sure.
20 bucks is enough. So I am beyond stoked right now.
How the f you get stranded here? We paid this guy to drive us to Mesquite, bro. He dropped us off here and then we're stuck.
Why'd you guys get out?
So I think we just realized this guy's not gonna come back for us.
No, Derek left us.
And we were completely screwed again.
Do you work at the AMPM?
I own.
Oh, you do? Is there any chance we can work for you guys for a few hours? For a ride?
I'm sorry. There's really a lot of people here right now.
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Apple, this is insane.
This man was running out of options. The sun was setting, we still had no ride to Mesquite, and we were nearly 50 miles behind schedule.
Thank you so much. So an employee of the AMPM just came out. She's going back home, but she'll ask her ex-boyfriend to come give us a ride to Mesquite. We're counting on it to happen. That'll be really nice.
We waited around for about another hour, and surprisingly,
He showed up, and he drove us all the way over here for 20 bucks. And look what's in the background. Casablanca.
so we tried to sleep in these chairs at Casablanca, but it ended up being way too cold and way too uncomfortable, so instead we decided to pitch our tent in a sketchy alley.
We just set up our tent right next to a high voltage power plant or something. I don't know. I did not sleep that well. There's a ton of condensation inside this tent right now.
Yeah, it's wet in here.
I'm very wet right now.
Our sanity continued to drop at record rates, which is not a good thing considering I have a literal date for tomorrow. After a few more miles of walking, we hit our biggest checkpoint yet.
Did it? Look, we walked to Arizona and hitchhiked 50 miles from Las Vegas. If you guys like this type of content, give me a thumbs up.
We continued on the freeway for about another 5 miles, and then we peeled off on this cool side trail.
That he may be healed.
Apple found a religious book.
Happiness Digest.
This will be me if my Tinder date shows up and then flip it upside down. This will be me if she doesn't.
We had already walked 20 miles and we still had 4 to go. And then it hit me. The lowest point of the entire walk.
So we just finished up one of the stretches, and I gotta say, that was by far the most challenging one that I've had yet. My feet are really starting to hurt from the blisters. I'm becoming pretty tired. But look. I made it to Utah. Now all we have to do is hike a few more miles till we hit Joshua Tree. From there we go to St. George.
For the date.
For the date. You gotta look better than this though.
Turns out I was extremely malnourished, so I drank a ton of water and ate as much food as I could, and I almost immediately felt better.
We made it to Bulldog Pass. Looks like we might have to climb a mountain. If that's the case, that would drastically slow us down, but maybe not. Maybe there's like a little trail or something that goes in a valley that can pass that mountain. What do you think, Apple?
Well, Bulldog Pass seems pretty promising that there's a pass.
Oh yeah.
Well, we pushed through a couple of miles onto the pass and we set up the tent.
All right, night night.
Okay. Sorry. It was so cold. I think there's a tear coming from this eye. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Maybe it's just more wetness. Everything is so wet.
It's sopping.
Today we have 23 miles of hiking, so no stops. And that's to a Walmart. and I will still look like this. We're gonna have to figure out what the date is gonna consist of. I don't want to get ice cream. That sounds terrible. I don't want to get a coffee. That sounds terrible. I want to go home.
Today we walked through Joshua Tree National Park and my body was destroyed. We also hardly stopped because we just wanted it to end sooner.
Down the road, we see that. Now, I don't know what that looks like to you guys, but to me, that looks like a city. So happy. And I can get all ready and dapper for my date. I don't really know how I'm gonna get ready for the... Should I even put that back on at this point?
We were about 15 miles into our final day when we were approached by our final savior, Brian.
This man drove up beside us and he said, "Hey, you guys want to ride in the back of the truck?" I'm not gonna say no to that anymore.
Brian drove us a total of 5 miles, which brought us all the way to the parking lot where the Joshua Tree Trail starts in St. George.
You all set? Yeah. Okay.
So we now only have about 3 miles left. Thank the Lord for those 2 people.
And we kept going all the way to glorious Walmart.
Made it to Walmart. I think my date's gonna happen at like 5:30. She'll have to pick me up. There's no way I'm walking anymore. So I just destroyed this Subway sandwich. It's carnage over here. And I honestly feel feral. I somehow have to clean up and have a date in, what, 30 minutes or so?
Yeah.
This is not good. I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
I tried to clean myself up, and I think I looked okay.
All right, she's here. See you guys.
All right, baby. Y'all know the time.
I'm currently on the date with Morgan. We got, what's it called? Swig. It's good. Thanks, Morgan, for putting up with me.
Of course, of course.
You're a champ.
I'm sorry, your feet are blistering.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see. There it is. There you go, guys. Not clickbait. You can see I actually did get a Tinder date.